Okay, let's go ahead and get started. It is 6:31. If anyone else joins in, fantastic. So hey, you guys, wanted to welcome you to team call tonight. We're going to keep it nice and short like we usually do, under half hour or so, but I've got some really good information I want to share with you. But first, let's go into some fun stuff. Let's celebrate some people and some hard work and stuff. So. But before we do that, I want to welcome our newest coach, Renee, up in the far right corner there. So this is her first team call. Welcome. Okay. Oh, that's not it. Hang on. You know me and technology. Let's see here. Okay, awesome. All right, so our newest rank advancement since our last call is Miss Brandy. She's been a coach for, like a month or something, and she's already hit Success Club, and she is now our newest Emerald coach. For those of you that are newer, an Emerald coach is someone that has two coaches signed up underneath them, one on their left leg and one on their right leg. The benefits of becoming an Emerald coach is honestly, that's really when your business really begins, because not only do you get your retail commission, but as an Emerald coach, you have the opportunity to earn team cycle bonuses. So being a coach is awesome. But once you get to Emerald and you have coaches underneath you that are producing volume exactly like you are, then that's when you start to receive those team cycle bonuses. I won't go into too much detail about what that means, but for the newer coaches, I wanted to kind of put that out there. And then, of course, my one and only, Edward is a diamond coach. Woo woo. He doesn't care. He has no idea. He doesn't coach. But, but it just goes to show that if you have a spouse and you sign them up, you can build their own business center. So he has been diamond, and then he lost it because we had some coaches go inactive, but he's back to diamond. And what that means is, again, I won't go into too much detail, that he's basically my second business center. So instead of being able to earn 6% of team cycle bonuses, I'm able to earn 12%. So it's basically like a way to double dip in your income, okay? The newer coaches, we will go over stuff like that in our Coach Basics, but just so you know, Edward's a diamond, woo woo. Okay. Thank you for the clap. Yes, that's enthusiasm. Okay. Who's in the club? All right. We've got a couple people that have already hit Success Club. What I think is awesome is to be able to hit Success Club by the 10th of the month. And here we are, what is today? The 7th, and we've already got people that have already hit Success Club. So we've got Catherine at 6, Courtney at 7. I mean, where did that come from? And then, of course, Marion's at 8, and I'm right in there working hard, and I should be at 10 by tomorrow. So, whoop. But, you know, Success Club, as I always say, is a very good way to measure not only the lives that you're helping, but really your growth in your business. And every time you hit Success Club on a monthly basis, you are building that momentum in your business. So hitting Success Club, if you're a business builder, and I'm assuming if you're on this call, you're a business builder, hitting a Success Club should be a non-negotiable. There you go. It's been a long day. All right. Bear with me. So congratulations to you guys who are already in the club. Okay. Let's go right into it. So I want to talk about, I didn't really announce what we're going to talk about, but as a lot of you know, and some of you were in this group, we are doing a Diamond Push group, and we're doing a Diamond by December group because we've got some really fired up, motivated coaches that are ready to grow their business big time. So we put a small little timeline on there that they are going to hit Diamond rank by December, and what that means is they are going to have 8 coaches total, 4 on one leg, 4 on the other leg, and 1 on each leg being Emerald, okay? Now, it's not impossible. It's not. I mean, if I can do it, you guys can do it. I think I hit Diamond. I have my thing here. I hit Diamond in a few months, and then I ended up losing it, and then I went back. But, you know, it happens. But being a Diamond coach is really when you get that leadership, and you start to create your own team, and you start to do your own team calls, and it really is where you start to see the major growth in your income and in your business. So it's a remarkable rank to achieve. Anyway, but the reason why I brought that up is in this group, we had a really good activity today, and it was so good, and we had such a good learning experience that I wanted to be able to share with you guys what we talked about. in case you're wondering, the people that are in the Push to Diamond group are the ones who are active coaches and who are also actively Emerald hitting Success Club. So that's how you can qualify to get into these groups, which offers kind of some extra training. And what we want to talk about is basically how can you use social media as a source of recruitment or sponsoring your own team? Like, how do you have team growth without having to send out 50 messages or approach every single challenger? And it really is in the way that you use social media to your advantage. And so we did a lot of trial and error today, and we did a lot of editing, and I'm going to share with you kind of what we worked on, but I want to kind of start from scratch and talk about why is it important. One, we talked about why it's important to build your team, because I'll tell you right now, about 75% of my income, 75% comes from team cycle bonuses. Now, I could not have the income that I do by just retail sales. I would literally burn myself out trying to sell things. And that's kind of where you kind of turn into that selling factor. I could not do this if I was primarily focused on just my commission. Not to say it's depends on where you want to go in your business, but building a team is that gate to the, your growth of your income. And plus, it's just amazing to have that team. I mean, to have you guys and to go to Nashville with you guys, do all those sort of things. Like, that's what I love about this. This is a community that you create, okay? So I know that a lot of you are comfortable with challenge groups and inviting to challenge groups. I mean, a lot of you are hitting Success Club, so you obviously know what you're doing in terms of the inviting process. But it gets a little scarier when you start to invite someone to be a coach, right? It just gets a little uncomfortable. You're not sure how to do it. But the reason why I have this picture up here is I want you to look at all of these top 10 coaches. And the one thing you need to remember is that somebody at some point asked them to be a coach, right? I mean, it started somewhere. These people didn't just were given the opportunity and they didn't, they were invited by someone. These people that you see were invited at some point. And so I want to talk a little bit about like what attracts us to coaching. Nope, wrong slide. Okay, so what attracts us to coaching? It's the freedom. It really is. And not for everybody, but I'm going into it, just bear with me here. The freedom attracted me to coaching. It was the freedom for me to work out with support. It was the freedom to build a business. It was the freedom to build a business on my terms and to be my own boss. It was the freedom and excitement to know that I could create something out of what I loved. And I could create a team. I could create a community of people. I could help people overcome things with their own health and fitness goals. And there's such an underlying theme of freedom. And I want to kind of contribute this to Catherine, because she mentioned this in our Diamond group. And I thought it was such a beautiful way of putting that, is that we have the opportunity to give back that freedom. And so showing people that freedom in this job is really what people are looking for. So I know for me, when I started following a coach, it probably took me like a good year and a half. I started seeing her slowly build her business. And it was very small, small pieces of her life. And it was talking about how she didn't have to work 2 jobs anymore, or could finally get her hair done. Whereas before she would use, the hair dye in a box and all these little things I remember. And I kept thinking, that's really cool. Like, she's doing this and it goes along with what I love, health and fitness and all this sort of stuff. Yet she's building this business that's contributing to her life as well. It's like a win-win. And so it was the freedom of what she could create and the freedom of what that job meant that really, really spoke to me. So I wanted to go over, excuse me. Sorry, I got a whiny dog. I wanted to go over a few tips, and then I'm going to show you some really good examples that we worked on today. So a few tips on how to take your business to the next level and start using your social media to attract that dream team. So let me start from where I came from. When I first started as a coach, I did not really do this. I had no idea that I could manipulate, and I say that in the nicest way possible, my own words in order to tell people what I was doing. I was very, very fitness oriented, and that's great. Like, you need to have that fitness foundation as a coach. All of these top 10 coaches have their fitness cornered. Not saying they have the ideal body, but they make it a priority in their life. Okay. But I was more fitness oriented. I didn't really think about telling people about the business. I didn't think about it. I just assumed that if I was who I was and I just worked out, then all these people would flock to me because they saw what I was doing. But it really comes down to spelling it out and what you do as a coach. So we talked about in another call about 4 questions. And I want to go over those 4 questions again, because this is kind of what we touched on in our diamond group. You got to ask yourself these 4 questions. And if you're not answering these 4 questions, at least 2 to 3 in a post, then people probably don't know what you're doing. All right. So number 1 is, do people know that you are a fitness coach, health and fitness, whatever you want to call it? Do people know that you are a coach? Number 2 is, do people know that you run online challenge groups? And I think sometimes that we assume that people know what we're doing. People assume that we are here and we are ready to help them, and that we can help them grow a business, and that we can help them get healthy. But you kind of have to, and I say in this the nicest way possible, kind of dumb it down a little bit and spell it out for them. Question number 3, have you shared what Beachbody has done for your life? And this is in terms of physical, emotional, mental, whatever it is. If you have not shared that process, then people probably don't know your backstory or where you were or where you're headed, right? And then the last question is, do they know that they can do it too? And this is huge. And we're going to go over a little bit more into this. But those 4 questions, if you're not using those in your social media, people aren't really going to know what you're doing. And once I really started paying attention to those 4 questions and using those in terms of how I present myself, I saw a major, major growth. Not only did I have people that were like me and like-minded, business-minded, fitness-minded, personality-minded, come to me and say, I want to do this too, because 1, they saw who I was, but they also saw there's a business opportunity in this. We can work together. And that's really where I saw a ton of change. So, okay, a few tips on how to take your business to the next level. Change your language. And what I mean by that is go from the I to the we. Now, you guys know what it feels like to be a part of something bigger than yourself. For those of you who did attend Summit, you know big time what that feels like when you're sitting in that arena with 25,000 people and you're all having the same mission and you're all having that big love fest and you're listening to Carl. It is like your soul and your heart feels like it's going to explode. And that's what it feels like to be part of something bigger than yourself. And when you are posting and you're talking about your team and your challenge groups and all these sort of things, it's using the we that makes people feel like they are a part of that. So you're almost putting that assumption in their minds that they could be a part of that too. So instead of join my team, I will show you how to do this, I will be your coach, I will help you get fit and healthy, whatever that is, you want to talk about the we. Because there is a huge we, right? There's a we in our challenge groups. There's a we as a coach on this team. And by using that term we, it makes people feel that connection, that community that a lot of people crave. Okay. So just think about how you're using your language. Number 2 is you do not have to have a huge success to share how Beachbody affects your life. Now, this is a big one. And we have talked about this before, but I think it's really important to touch on is the whole breadcrumbing. And what that means is that you share those small victories along the way. And I'll tell you that those small victories, in most cases, are more important than those huge success stories. And the reason why is because they are more relatable. Because not everyone can relate to, hey, I got to quit my job, or hey, I bought a mansion on the beach, or hey, whatever it is. Like, people want to hear things like, I just got my first check as a coach and I really didn't think this was going to work. I mean, I myself signed up and, maybe thought it was a scam, but you know what? I got my first check and I just put gas in my car. Like, that pulls it back down to reality, right? If you think I can put gas in my car by working out, by helping other people, heck yeah, I want to be a part of that. Or I actually saw a post by somebody else, and she said, "Hey, thanks Beachbody for paying my car payment and make my butt smaller." Like, I thought that was brilliant. Like, okay, she summed it up in one sentence. She had her car payment paid for, and she got into shape. Why need you don't need to go into much detail, right? So it's talking about those small little victories. Maybe it's talking about that you did lose some weight, because not everything that we're talking about is simply financial, but it could be an emotional change. Maybe it's now that you work out every day and that you feel healthier. And I'm going to kind of pick on one person here real quick because she has a pretty amazing story. And that is my cousin Tracy. So Tracy had a phenomenal story, a health story, a really scary, life-threatening situation. And she has completely changed her life. She's on Shakeology. She's working out every day. She's lost weight. I mean, everything about her health, her heart, everything has improved. That is a huge, I know that's a huge like success story, but that's also a victory that she can share. So it doesn't always have to be about the financial aspect, but we're talking about building your dream team here too. So you kind of have to wrap it in and how it affects your life and how it can benefit someone else's life too, right? So like I said, maybe it could be that, you paid your car payment or your utility bill, or now that you have a community of fit and business-minded people that you can connect with. Maybe it's that you have stronger nails, better skin. I know I do since drinking Shakeology. That's a little victory. Or maybe you can finally afford that awesome pair of boots that you've been craving at Nordstrom's, and it's $200. And you know what? You're splurging because you worked your butt off. And that's what it means to build your own business, is that you make your own choices, right? So there's this little small victories on a daily basis that you can share. For me, one of the victories that I was able to share when I was still doing real estate, but when I became a coach and I started to actually see my paychecks grow, because we all start somewhere. As I started to see my paychecks grow, I could then replace some of the, because I was doing a lot of rental properties at that time, because it was kind of when the market was really bad. And I could replace some of those rental property clients and pass them on to somebody else because I was making money with Beachbody. So for me, it was like the slow transition into replacing my income. And that was something that was really important to me because I had a goal. My goal was to not do real estate. My goal was to be home. So when my kids were sick, I could be sick and not have to write contracts all day or go show houses, right? So I understand that not everyone has a major success story, but you could either share a success story from somebody else. Maybe you have someone on the team. You could share my story. Hey, this girl got to quit her job. How awesome is that? Or you can share those small little successes that we just talked about, okay? And those big stories come later. When you start to earn Success Club trips, I mean, I got to go to Cancun for free. I'm going to the Caribbean for free in March. Those are the stories I can start to share now because I've worked really, really hard to get those. Stories about summit, leadership events, whatever it may be. If you're wondering, like, how do I do this? Like, I'm not really sure where to start. I think a good place to start here is to make a list of what attracted you to coaching. For me, it was that freedom. It was majorly that freedom. And I think a lot of coaches feel that way because a lot of coaches want the flexibility in their day. They want to be able to do what they want to do as much as they want, anytime they want, right? I mean, who doesn't? That's kind of the ultimate dream, right? That was my dream, and now I can do that. And so making a list of the things that attracted you to coaching, you write those down. I encourage you to write those down today, tomorrow, and then every time you go to make a post about something, pick from that, right? What would someone else see as valuable? Just as you did, because you're talking to your niche market here. So post them with enthusiasm. Like I get super excited about, being able to go for a run in the middle of the day. And it may be kind of nerdy and it's very small, but I can go for a run at 11 a.m. I don't have anyone to tell me I can't. And I get really excited about that. And I get very like, I can do this. This is what I want. And I'm going to have it. And I'm stubborn. So be enthusiastic about what are the things that are exciting you about this business. Because once you're excited, other people are going to get excited about that feeling that you're sending out. Okay. Post at least once a day in this direction. Now, all this is going to make more sense once we go through these examples. But honestly, if you're posting already 2 to 3 times a day, make sure one of those posts is about what we're talking about. Okay. This is a huge, huge one that we talked about in our group. And this is posting objections publicly. So what I mean by this is, if someone says to you, Beachbody is a scam, which we all know is not true, post about that. Post about how someone said Beachbody is a scam. And I have a really good example to show you from another coach, not on our team, that handled this so well, because I guarantee if someone has that objection, somebody else does too. So why not deal with it publicly? Right? Rather than having to message someone, because if there's one person that thinks it, there's 10 others that are right behind them that probably think the same thing. Same thing with time. We did a really good one with Jennifer's today, and you'll see hers about, she works 50 hours a week. She's got 2 kids. She has a husband. They're building a house. Like, this woman is busy. And she's talking about, hey, I don't have time. But you know what? I do actually have time. And so we'll go over that example too. But posting your objections publicly so people can see, oh, okay, well, if she got over this, well, maybe so can I. Reach out more. Just when you're talking about building your team here, just talk to more people, reach out to more people. The more people you talk to, the more people you have the chance of bringing into your network. Make it part of the conversation. And I want to tell you a story about this. So yesterday, I'm sorry, it wasn't yesterday. It was when my kids first started soccer a couple of weeks ago. I was thinking about it yesterday. And the coach of the soccer team, he asked for a snack mom. And I said, I would be snack mom, which means I'm going to organize everyone to bring a certain snack. And he's like, great, you're in charge of that. Can you organize the parents? Can you set the guidelines for the snack? And he kind of leaned in and he's like, can you not do like donuts or anything like that? Hi, baby, I'm on my phone. No, he's not home yet, sweetie. He's like, can you just not do, no. Sweetheart, go finish your dinner. And he said, could you not do donuts or Twinkies? And I kind of laughed at him and I was like, I'm a fitness coach. That's not really my thing. And he was like, oh, you are? Oh, where do you, boom, I started the conversation. And then his wife, who is someone that I really would love to bring onto the team, she was like, oh, you're a fitness coach? Well, tell me more about that. And I was like, work it into the conversation, right? It's not that hard. You got to find your opportunities. It's just about talking to more people, okay? So that was more of a face-to-face story versus social media. It's kind of what we're talking about here. But the same sort of conversations you can have in social media too, if you're finding people talking about things and commenting and watching what people are posting. So this is one. What happens? My husband's not home. I have no parental guidance out there. So, we're probably the only ones that think it's weird to approach people about being a coach. You know that? Like, we probably are the only ones. And I say this because how good does it feel to be complimented? I told this story in the group today. I was walking down the street the other day, and I actually posted about this too on Facebook. The kids and I were just laughing and talking and being goofy, and they were dragging me towards one store, and I was going this way, and we were just making jokes and stuff. And this woman and her husband was behind us, and it was probably like a good block and a half or so in this outdoor, shopping mall. And we got to our car, put the kids in the car, and she kind of comes back. She goes, I know this is going to sound really weird, but I really love your energy. And I love your personality and how you're talking to your kids. And, you seem like a really good people person and you're well-spoken. Have you ever thought about a job in marketing? Like, I run a company and I'm looking to recruit people. And I was like, me? It made me feel really good. Imagine if you did that to someone. Imagine if you said, hey, I think you're really inspirational. And I love, this could be in a challenge group or not, but in a challenge group, I love the progress you're making. Or I love your enthusiasm. Or I love that you're posting every day. I think you make a great coach. Have you ever thought about that? Right? That only feels weird sometimes to us, because sometimes it feels like it's like a one-sided benefit when in fact it's not. and this kind of transitions into my next idea here, but what we have, I personally feel is a gift. I know how much has changed my life. I know where my future's going. I know that all of you guys were brought into my life because of this decision. Well, except for Tracy, she's stuck with me. But all the all you guys were brought into my life because of the decision I made. I feel like this is a gift. I have the gift to be able to stay home while my kids are at school and be the volunteer mom and be the snack mom and go for a run in the middle of the day, whatever it is. I want to share that with people, right? I want to give that back. I want to pay that forward because right? The flexibility and the financial opportunity, who doesn't want that? So when you are offering this, think about, it's not just going to benefit you because that would feel slimy. It's truly going to benefit somebody else at the same time. So compliment people, talk to people, be that woman on the street. That was bold. That was brave, right? I had no idea who she was. And, I had to say thank you, but no thank you. I actually had my dream job, but she was like, fantastic. I felt like I couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk to you. And I was like, well, thank you anyway. And I walked away being like, yeah, I got people skills. I felt good about it. So, okay. My last tip here before we go into some examples is it's important to relate your posts to who you were. And I don't care if it's a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a year ago. Relate your posts to who you were pre-Beachbody and now. And I'm going to show you an example of mine that I did today. Maybe some of you may have seen. And again, physically, mentally, emotionally, show people that they can do it too. And this could be something 2 weeks ago where you're like, you know what? 2 weeks ago, I could not do a push-up. And now here I am, and I just did 5. And my challengers from my online fitness group are cheering me on. And I feel this enormous support. And I am, I'm growing into the person I wanted to be. Like, see how simple that is? And there was no salesy. It was just sharing a way that this opportunity and this business and this experience is changing your life. Pre-Beachbody versus now. Okay. All right. So I want to go over some examples here. And it's almost 7, so we'll go through these. So these are just examples of posts that I did. And again, you need to put your own spin on these. Now, not everyone has the same situation as I do where I'm home, but this is going to give you an idea about how to thread Beachbody into your day. All right. So you can see here, I just walked the kids to school, and now the doggy and I can't decide. Should we go run errands or should we go for a run? Like, that's a tough problem to have, right? Girl boss problems. So again, this isn't going to be your exact situation, but what it shows is 1, I am my own boss. 2, I have flexibility, right? So those are 2 huge things that people want to see and people want. And there we go. So this is a post from another coach. And I wanted to share this because she ties in a lot of the different elements that I was just talking about. And so it's important for me to show you an actual physical, these posts here. So she's talking about how she loves her job, okay? Isn't it nice to love your job? There's a lot of people that don't love their job. And she's talking about the perks of it. Like, this is her office for the day. This is the kind of thing you can do when you have that flexibility in this job. You can work from anywhere, and she's physically showing this. She also talks about, she says, there's times where I have to pinch myself because I can't believe this is happening. I didn't think anything like this existed. I know I thought the same thing because I remember literally praying for this opportunity. How can I have the income growth? How can I be present for my kids? How can I be fulfilled? This was it. I didn't know this job existed. I wish I had, 7 years ago. But she's showing. So you see what this is going is that she didn't think it existed. That speaks to the people that would have attracted me big time. I would have gone, what? Wait, what is she doing? That's what I want. What is she talking about? And then she's talking about the fulfillment that this job is giving her she got a message from someone who is basically thanking her. So there's the fulfillment in the job, right? And then at the very end, she talks about how she's basically kind of inviting you into that process. Can you say the same about your job? If not, it's time to make a change. Like, this was brilliantly written. And it probably wasn't something that was overly thought. It was just what she was thinking at that moment when she's sitting on the beach working from her phone, right? This is another one that I did just recently, but basically this is an example of pre-Beachbody versus Now, 2 years ago when I was in real estate and my husband went back to work on Mondays and I still had the kids at home by myself, they were 4 years old, and I was in real estate and I was coaching and I was really stressed out. I hated Sunday nights because I knew that once my husband went back to work, I was solo for the next, 9, 10 hours the next day. And so I'm talking about the pre-feeling and how I felt. You know someone in your life that feels the same way about Sunday nights. Why do you think there's so many jokes about Monday morning blues, right? So by tying in this, it shows people that I came from here and I'm over here now, and it's realistic and you can do it too. So this was kind of a funny one. It kind of goes into not a lot about what I talked about, but I wanted to share it anyway. So one, it's just a fun, enthusiastic picture. So this kind of goes along with that. This is one of my, this is a coach that I admire and I love her energy. And so I wanted to share this. So the simplicity of this here is that she's talking about delegation, that, this life that she has now as a coach allows her to delegate. And what does that do? That frees up her life. So this opportunity has allowed her to de-stress her life, and she's super stoked about it. Like, why would you not, want a house cleaner? Like, you work so hard, you can pay for one now. So that just is a good example of enthusiasm, and it's a very, very, very small breadcrumbing situation, right? All right, this is one that I did last week, exactly 2 weeks ago, because this is where I'm sitting right now. This is right before we're getting our team call, and I had my glass of wine and I was getting ready to talk with you guys. And it shows that this is how my meetings go. I'm in my yoga pants, I have a glass of wine, and I get to sit down with people that I actually want to sit down with. Whereas there's people that go to meetings and they hate their meetings. See, I love my meetings because I get to connect with you guys. And what does it show? That I love my job, that I'm having fun, that it's on my terms, and that you don't have to be my next door neighbor or in the next cubicle to be part of this team. You can be all across the US, and I'm my own boss, right? This is another one that I did. And this is obviously showing that I'm home working, but it shows my place. It shows my comfort spot where I want to be working. And I'll tell you, after I posted this, I probably got a couple of people that are like, I want to do what you do. And I was like, awesome, let's do it. Because it just shows the ideal life. How do you not want to drink coffee in bed and work on your laptop versus sitting in traffic and going to meetings? I'm not saying everyone has a corporate job, but I'm just saying that this is really where it's showing people that freedom that's available to you. So this is another one that you guys may have seen that I did recently. And this really brings it down to what I'm not and what I am, meaning I'm a regular person and I want to be part of the solution. So this touches a little bit more on, for me, I think it's more of a 50-50 in terms of the business opportunity and the health and fitness process. But I'm talking about how little it took to start this business. And I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not a fitness expert. I'm just a regular mom. I'm a wife. I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about creating a life of freedom, right? So this, again, was a very, very powerful post that I got a lot. I think within the first 5 minutes, I had 2 messages from people that I had never met before. And they said, tell me what you do for a living. I want to do it too. So I laid it all out there. This is who I am. This is what I want to do. This is what I was saying. You had to kind of spell it out, right? Oops. All right. So, look at that face, Jennifer. So this is what we worked on today. So Jennifer, like I said, she works 50 hours a week as a nurse practitioner. She's got 2 very young kids. She has a husband who also has a very serious medical career. So there's not a lot of extra time in her life, but she has goals. And this is what we worked on today, is trying to create a post that really speaks from where she's coming from and why she's excited. So you see some enthusiasm in her face. I mean, you can't hide that smile. She's excited. She says that she's excited, and she's talking about the growth of her business. And the reason why I wanted to show you guys this was because my posts are coming from a different stage. Jennifer's still a new coach, all right? She's still pushing to become a diamond coach and build her team. She's got big goals. So this is coming from a coach that is breadcrumbing the excitement that this business is bringing her. So I encourage you to read through this. And she touches on that she had fear and doubts, and she's ready to take control of her future. So, I mean, we touch on a lot of different aspects in this post here. Plus, she's just super cute. Okay, so this is a longer one. If you guys, I won't keep this on too long, but this is the objection one that I was talking about. So read through this kind of quickly. I will go over it, but I want to kind of close up here. But this is another coach. Some of you might follow her already. Her name's Bonnie Engel, and she does a fantastic job at these type of posts. She speaks from the heart. She deals with the objections really well. And somebody told her Beachbody was a scam. And she basically is like, whatever, look at my life, like she's talking about the reality. She has an objection. She shows the reality. She's packing her suitcase to go to Nashville. She's going to be on stage and all this stuff that, I got to do as well. She gets to see her team and she's talking about how someone had success. And then I love how she finishes it. But yeah, it's a scam. So instead of whoever said that to her in a message, I don't want to be on your team or whatever, it's a scam. There's probably 10 to 20 other people that probably think the same thing, right? So she publicly dealt with that by telling her story. Okay. All right. And this is one that I wanted to show you that I did today. And this was the, kind of relates to the pre-Beachbody versus the post-Beachbody. And again, I know this is a different stage, but it doesn't have to be just like mine. But the story my story was really long, so I didn't post it. But the story that went along with this was that I was not in the stage of my life. I was not happy in this stage of my life on the left-hand side. And now I am in a different place in my life. And so by showing that I didn't think it was possible, that I thought I was stuck, and to show that it's actually a reality. And it makes more sense once you read my story, but it shows that I was just a regular girl that struggled. And all I wanted was A, B, and C. And I had to do 1, 2, and 3 to get there, and I did. And now I'm in this place where I feel pretty darn happy. So again, a before and an after. And it doesn't always have to be an actual photo of a before and after, but this went along with my story. So this was one that we worked on with Catherine today. I really, really loved this because as you guys know, Catherine is a phenomenal coach and she focuses a lot on fitness. And she is definitely, she's in the Diamond Group and she's definitely one of our rising coaches here. And so what we worked on with her, and this really reminded me of me in the beginning, because she is very fitness minded, which is why we were attracted to each other in the very beginning and why she joined this team. But we're trying to work on her posts in terms of sharing that there's more than just the fitness aspect. There is that business aspect. And that's truly what we're talking about on this call, is to be able to share that business opportunity through your day-to-day activities. So I love that she talks about, number one, she talks about a challenger and how this challenger is seeing really good results. So what is that? That answers, she runs online challenge groups. And then she gets into the doubts that she had and how she didn't think she had time. So she's dealing with an objection here. And she's squashing that objection and talking about, hey, I'm a teacher, I'm a wife, I'm active in my church. I didn't think I had time. And so you can read, I don't have to spell it out, but you can see that she's really taking this whole experience and telling people where she came from, what she thought, and where she is now. All right. Hang on a sec here. All right, you guys. So there we go. Gosh, I always think I'm going to be under 30 minutes and I go over. I apologize. So I want to open the floor and see if you guys have any questions. I hope those examples helped. And again, this is something that you will learn over time. And I know, Renee, you're probably like, holy crap, what I get myself into. I don't know what I'm doing. This is your first team call, and that's okay. But you know what? This is really good for the newer coaches on the team that aren't sure how to really go about building their team without having to ask all their friends and family, hey, do you want to be a coach on my team? Like, that's not really the idea. The idea is to show your own journey and to share your own journey throughout this business, okay? And some of it's going to be fitness related, some of it's going to be business related. But if you can tie those together, it's going to be a major, major difference in the growth. Had I been doing this my first year, I would probably be in a very different spot right now and have, a bigger team. I did not know what I didn't know. And over the last 2 years, I have slowly learned. And that's part of the process in this business. But I hope that what I've shared with you tonight can kind of eliminate that from your experience, and you can have a faster start than I did, because I was just like, woo, I just want to work out. That's it, you know. But luckily it did grow. I learned along the way. Okay, so anyway, you guys, if there's anyone that wants to chat, please, you may take yourselves off mute. Oh, there's Haleen. Hi, you snuck in. Okay, so this is her first team call as well. So welcome. We've got 2 brand new coaches on the call tonight. Okay, so I want to open up the floor. Does anyone have any questions? You don't have to have questions, but just want to open the floor. Bueller? All right, 8-second rule. Okay, if no one asks a question, 8 seconds, we're done. Just kidding. Okay, so I will, I'll post this recording. If you guys want to go back and look at those examples, by all means, go ahead. I'll probably have it posted later tonight. In the meantime, feel free to post any questions in the team page. Thank you to Catherine and Jennifer for allowing me to share your learning experience today. It's been a phenomenal group so far, and I'm really excited to see where everyone's going. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next 2 weeks. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. All right, you guys, thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.